Bitmark is an open source data standard, that makes it possible to bring even complex learning content on the screen of a mobile phone. And that's important because considering that over 90% of the world's population has access to mobile phones, but only a fraction of this population has actually access to books or to libraries at least. That also makes the learning content very accessible. So you can say in that way that Bitmark is kind of the basis for the democratization of learning to happen, if you want. It's quite an exercise to digitize learning content. Now, the problem is that all those learning apps and platforms and so on, that they are proprietary, meaning that each platform has its own language, so to say. So if a publisher or any provider of learning content, digitizes his learning material so to fit platform X, if then platform X turns out not to work or whatever, not to fulfill the users, the students' requirements, if the publisher then wants to transfer these learning content to another platform, why? He cannot just do this, but he has to re-digitize his whole learning content, to the logic of that other platform. So do this exercise tagging, this is an exercise, this is a resolution to it, again in the language of this other platform, and this is not a good situation, and it's also very expensive. And so that is really the reason why there is so little digitally available learning content. So there is a lock-in for the content providers, and this lock-in is also the reason why the content providers just don't digitize the learning content. And what is funny, you also have this lock-in. You don't only have it on the publisher side, you also have it on the user side. So my daughter, for example, she does use some ebooks in her school. But as each of these ebooks or the underlying systems are proprietary, she has to use one learning app per book, resulting in her using more than a dozen different apps, and which means that she has more than a dozen different credentials to use, different logics, and so on. So that's not a good situation. And I recently, by the way, complained about this to a friend of mine from Norway, and he just laughed and said that at the school of his daughter, she's called Vesper Marie, the school of Vesper Marie, they don't use any paper, any physical paper anymore, but only iPads, and resulting in her using more than 30 different learning apps. So imagine this, that's really not a good situation. All of these proprietary systems, instead of using their own data format, would use a Bitmark, which is an open source, very modern data standard. You would not have these lock-ins anymore, not on the content provider side, and also not on the users side. Meaning that if a publisher is not happy with the platform X, he can transfer it easily to platform Y, and the same for the students or for their teachers and schools. If they like to work with 30 apps, they can do so. But if they prefer to have all the learning content in one app, using only one app, which just fits their needs, they can do so also. So this is really in the heart of it.